Now, The Catalyst, with Christopher Dent.
This is The Catalyst, and I am Christopher Dent. The Catalyst is a podcast which highlights forward-thinking, community-minded people and organisations. Please like and follow us on Facebook at The Catalyst, or subscribe on YouTube at The Catalyst with Christopher Dent. On the show today, we have netball coach and umpire, Revolution Sports Club Premiership captain and club captain, two-time captain Victoria Indoor Netball Team, and 2020 Kilbreda College School captain, Keely Ortland. Welcome to the show, Keely.
Thank you. How are you, Chris?
I'm going great today. I'm really looking forward to this interview. How are you going? How are you coping at the moment with the pandemic?
Yeah, not too bad. Year 12 this year's been pretty stressful. I've been pretty busy with school, and I'm lucky to still be working as well at the same time. I've definitely had my moments. It can be quite challenging, but yeah, very, very lucky. My loved ones are all safe and healthy. So yeah, just waiting out till we can get going again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Speaking of that, you were born in 2002. Mum and Dad, Katrina and Craig. You're the youngest of four. You've got siblings, Simone, Brad, and Dana. Which primary school did you attend?
Yes, I went to St. Louis in Aspendale. It was the only primary school I went to. I live in Aspendale Gardens, so yeah, it was nice and close by.
Yep. Now, what was your experience like in those early years of primary school?
Yeah, well, St. Louis is actually quite a big school. I think there's around 700 students. It was great. I've always loved school, always enjoyed going. So I never really hated primary school. I made a lot of lifelong friends, in which actually my first netball team was formed. So I've been able to maintain a lot of friendships from primary school. I think I was always getting involved in the sporting aspects, loved getting out of class. It was a really good experience.
That sounds like a common theme with a lot of the people I speak to. Your next step was secondary school. How was that next step in those early days at Kilbreda?
I think everyone says the same thing. It is quite scary, going from being the oldest in primary school back to the young babies. But I had Dana there to give you some tips and tricks to not get myself killed in high school. So that was really helpful. It was good. I got to expand my friendship group, and I was lucky to get the Bridget Award, which is a student peer voted award, which is for people that display strength and kindness, which is Kilbreda's school motto in Year 7. So it was good to sort of step myself early into the school, which was really nice.
Oh, absolutely. And with that, speaking of that, in 2020, you're actually your Year 12 year. You're named Kilbreda school captain. That's a great way to begin Year 12.
Yeah, no, it was a huge surprise. Definitely a big honour. It was picked out of a group of around 15 girls, so there was a lot of competition, but everyone was so well deserving. I'm just so lucky to be recognised, and it was a nice acknowledgement. I've been actively involved in leadership for a long time at high school, so it was really nice to be acknowledged for the work that I have done. It was definitely always a goal of mine for a couple of years. I was always looking to that, end of Year 12, wanting to be up there, giving the final school address. So, super exciting that I got it, and I've really loved and flourished in the role.
We're talking to Kilbreda school captain Keely Ortland. When and where did your netball journey start?
Yeah, so I started with Net Set Go at Springvale District Netball Association. I'd say around the age of 7 or 8. Both of my sisters were playing at the time, so I was always around the netball courts, loved the game. I always wanted to get involved. After Net Set Go, I sort of transitioned into the domestic team Aspendale Arrows, which was with my primary school friends at Springvale District. And following that, I joined SB&A squad as a bottom age under 11. So that's sort of where it all started from.
Now you're pushing through, like you said, with under 11s. You actually trialled for the indoor netball team for Victoria. You tried out for the under 12s. How did that first year tryout go for you?
I was a very competitive, eager, fierce player. I always have been competitive, always will be competitive. So in 2013, I was a bottom age under 12, trying out for the Victorian indoor netball teams. And so this year that the team was travelling to Sydney actually. And so I was selected and picked into the squad of 14 players for under 12s. But after a few training sessions, when that team that was travelling was decided, I was not selected. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed. I was actually very disappointed. The teams I'd played with quite young, they were all quite successful teams. I hadn't really experienced such disappointment until then. So I was actually named as a shadow. A shadow is essentially a backup player. So you're encouraged to rock up in the case that one of the travelling members become injured. And so, as a shadow, I stayed very committed, even though Dad was probably not, he definitely did not love getting up every Sunday morning. All of the trainings were on the other side of town, Hoppers Crossing, Thornbury. So it was quite a drive to and from. I trained for about 6 to 8 weeks as a shadow. I believe I was actually the only shadow that was committed to going every week. I just found it really beneficial, regardless of if I was travelling or not, that I was getting that additional training.
Absolutely.
After 8 weeks of training as a shadow, she actually selected me into the team, regardless of no one actually dropping out. So it was really amazing. She definitely showed some faith in me, believed that I could do it. So it was really nice to have that support from her. It definitely helped set me up for the next 2 years of playing indoor.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving from that question, twice you were named captain of the Victorian indoor netball team playing in Perth and Adelaide. How were those trips?
Yeah, so the following year was 2014. I was selected as co-captain for the under-12 team, which travelled to Perth. Mum was actually the team manager, so she was put to work cooking, cleaning and managing us. So it was really nice to have a familiar face around. We were only 13 years of age, so travelling away and interstate from your family was quite a big deal.
Yeah.
The following year was 2015, so we were travelling to Adelaide, and I was selected again as captain as a bottom age under 14. I just remember this year the weather was so hot. It was getting up into the 40s, and indoor netball played inside a tin shed, so it was just that much hotter. We had, where our team situated was outside, and we had mini pools out there just to keep cool. It was actually crazy. But yeah, indoor netball, it was really tough. You're competing against the top Queensland and New South Wales girls who indoor netball is their sport. That's their game. And so I think Victoria, we were going up against, amazing players that are so used to playing indoor netball. They can use the net so well. And it was amazing to watch, actually. You were able to build such great friendships. And I actually, in particular with an Adelaide player, Montana McKinnon, we actually played against each other for all 3 years of indoor. And then in 2017 and 2018, where we both weren't playing indoor anymore, I actually went over to Adelaide and stayed with her for a week. And now she plays footy for the Adelaide Crows. But yeah, we've always stayed in contact over those 7 years. So that's a huge thing that's come out of playing interstate, and the friendships that have formed were amazing.
With your netball journey, you've actually taken up umpiring and coaching. How's that challenge been?
Well, Saturday mornings, obviously up until this year, have been pretty crazy. I'd umpire one game, then coach the next, and then play the next, and then umpire. So it's just constantly changing between dresses and out, which was pretty insane. Umpiring's been great. It was just one of those things I was super confident in doing, and I sort of just loved having that control over the game. At Springvale, they provide really great umpiring mentors. Kim, Jenny, Chris have all been amazing in developing me as an umpire. So that's really set me up really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Regarding coaching, I coach with Kate Ebbett, who is actually another Revs player.
Yes.
We started coaching for Maroons Netball Club based in Dingley. Our little team was called Pumas, and we began when they were bottom age under 11s and followed them till they were top age 13. So we were pretty lucky. We'd both been exposed to many different coaches and teams, so we did feel quite prepared even at such a young age. We were actually only 13 at the time when we started coaching, so that was pretty crazy. But yeah, being able to see the improvement and see that the skills that we were teaching them were transitioning into the game, it was really good. We were able to coach them to win a grand final, which was such a rewarding experience. I think the thing that actually stands out for me now is a parent was actually quite iffy on both Kate and I at the start. We were only 13. I think she just didn't think we had it in us. But yeah, after a couple of weeks and being able to see that the improvements made each week, I just so clearly remember her coming up to us and apologising for the assumption that she'd made and actually how grateful she was to have us as coaches and mentors for the kids. So yeah, that was a really good thing to come out of it.
No, that is fantastic. Never judge a book by its cover. You've actually had many coaches and mentors over the journey. What's the one thing that you've taken on board from them?
Yeah, so actually, when I'm reflecting on this question, I'm counting all of the coaches up. I've had around a dozen different coaches over my years, and I've definitely learned something from each of them, and they've all helped me develop my game. But there were three that definitely stood out for all different reasons, actually. Not only have they've positively impacted on the way that I've played, but they've also really influenced me and how I am as a person. So my first coach is Leanne McNamara from Chelsea Heights Netball Club. She definitely taught me a lot about the game. I think I learned most from her tactically and grew the most skill-wise from her.
Yep.
She was just had an amazing knowledge of the game. Her drills were fabulous, and this definitely set me up as a good coach. I just simply loved my netball the most when I was coached by her.
Yep.
The second coach that was a bit of a big standout for me was Kerry Musset, who coached me as a Springvale squad player. Yeah, she did a lot for me emotionally. She really understood me the best and supported me through transitioning back after injury. I think she just definitely gave me the belief and the persistence and the encouragement that I did need to transition back.
Yep.
And well, the third is actually you, Chris, and that was without payment. You just simply inspire me. I think you definitely ignited my passion back for netball, which I'll get to later, but just always encouraging me to get involved. You're someone that knows me very well. I think you value my humour. I definitely feel my passion for the game. So it did really help me regain my love for the game. And since having you as a coach, I haven't lost that.
Oh, fantastic.
But,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think, just from all three, mostly it's just been about the importance of relationships and connections with people. And I think this is something that now I'm very conscious of, and definitely use that in all aspects of my life. And that sort of helps me become not only a good leader, but just, a good person, I think.
No, absolutely. Okay, guys, stay tuned. We'll be back after the break with our segment 5 Questions, 1 Word, brought to you by Roti Hut Indian Cuisine Restaurant. Welcome back. We're talking to Kilbreda School Captain Keely Ortland. Now our segment 5 Questions, 1 Word. It's brought to you by Roti Hut Indian Cuisine Restaurant at 97 Poth Road, Hughesdale. Now this is a great community initiative. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Roti Hut will be giving free food to the people in need. You can pick up your free container of curry and rice from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. You can find them on Facebook at Roti Hut Indian Cuisine or call them on 95631352. Now, 5 questions, 1 word answer. Here we go. Your first question is your favourite travel destination.
Italy.
They're beautiful place. Beautiful place.
Very nice.
Number 2, your worst household chore.
Definitely dishes. Oh.
So you be a paper plates person?
Yeah, I wish.
Number 3, what friends for you in 1 word?
Supportive.
Absolutely. Number 4, what is your favourite meal?
Pasta.
Oh, well, we've got the right sponsor for that. And number 5, this is one of my favourite questions. What irritates you the most?
Rudeness.
That was 5 questions, 1 word. That was brought to you by Roti Hut. Okay, Keely, late in 2017, you become a little bit disenchanted with your netball due to a shoulder injury. How did you overcome that?
Yeah, so I actually experienced 3 shoulder dislocations over a period of 2 years. So
Wow.
2 were due to netball, but the last one was just rolling over in my sleep. So I think we decided after that we'd, go ahead with the surgery. Each return after each dislocation involved around a 6 to 8 week break, and each time I came back, I just lost that little bit of extra confidence, and I was sort of, worried at going at full pelt because I just had that lingering thought constantly that it was just going to pop out every time. Just coming back onto the court was so intimidating, and It was just so frustrating those first couple games back where I was just playing absolutely horrible. Just lost all motivation. I ended up having shoulder surgery where I think there are about 7 pins that were put into my shoulder to sort of reattach the tendons and ligaments in late 2016. So then that led to being out of netball for a year. So, recovery was really tough, as is for any injury. It was, a lot of hard work with exercising those muscles. And, even when I started playing back with my old teams, I just, didn't have that enjoyment that I used to. And with that, I decided at the end of 2017 that I was, just going to take a break from netball and just give it all up for the year.
I met you in 2018 as Revolution Sports Club was recruiting for a new under-17 Waverley team, which I was going to coach. How did that change your mindset being recruited for our team, especially in that first season when we won the premiership?
Yeah, so I actually only knew one girl, Lucinda Smith, and she made contact with me. I think it was about 2 weeks out of the season starting, asking if I was interested. And I had told Mum that I was having the year off, so I think it was a bit of a surprise to her when I was like, I think I'm actually going to play this year. From the minute that I did meet the team and stepped on the court under your name, Chris, it just felt right. It was instant, and I think it was definitely that change that I did need to regain my passion for the sport. I think I just felt relaxed with being at Revolutions. There was, since I didn't know anyone, there was no preconceived ideas or pressure. No one knew who I was. No one knew how I had played before my injury. So, it was definitely relaxing. The team, we all just clicked so well. We got on, we laughed, we just loved the team. And a few weeks in was the peer vote for captains, and being voted into the role was incredible. It was so exciting. So after that, I just knew it was going to be a good year. And leading up to that premiership, I think it was the prelim final, and we were down by around 11 points at halftime. And we ended up coming back to win, and so it was so well deserved. I think there was definitely a lesson there about never say never, and how the game is not over until that final siren. So the following week was the premiership against Chelsea, and it was a great win and just capped off an amazing season. I think it was all just driven by the pure determination and spirit and pressure on the team, and it was great.
In 2019, Revolution Sports Club captain Eleanor Douglas, she stepped down from her role, and you were appointed as our youngest club captain. Take us through those emotions.
Yeah, I was shocked, honoured, thrilled. It was amazing. I think being new to the club, I was sort of just learning that this role did exist. It was. We were at a Revolution team dinner, and you pulled me aside and spoke to me about my netball journey, how proud you were, and offered me the position. I think I've definitely learned from being a part of the Revolution family that there's the enormity and importance of holding such a position. And although this year has been quite interrupted, hopefully, we can continue to do great things next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And working on 2019, that was a huge year with the club captaincy. Also, you took out Revolution Sports Club Player of the Year. How was that receiving that award? This is a big year.
I was in a complete state of shock. I definitely did not expect it. Chris, you actually tricked us up, because I clearly remember a couple weeks leading up to the awards night where you were asking our team the shoe sizes, because apparently ASICS was going to be sponsoring us. I was like, this is awesome, Chris, awesome. So of course I went and showed you my shoe size, 8.5, whatever. Anyway, so it was quite exciting. I had no idea. I definitely think that the award of Player of the Year combined a lot more than just my performance on the court. There are so many amazing players at Reds. I think it was really nice to just be recognised that it wasn't just how I played on the court, but it was all the things that were happening on the side that were noticed, which it was really special.
You get a trophy, you become Player of the Year, and you get a brand new pair of netball runners. So I'll have to change my tact on how I find out the size of the girls now.
I know, I've probably just spoiled it.
We're talking to Kilbreda school captain Keely Ortland. Now we've got our segment, The Top 3. It's brought to you by Morgan's Domain. Contact Nathan Little and the team at Morgan's Domain for all your financial needs at domain@morgans.com.au. Okay, your 3 top go-to movies with all Netflix and everything you're doing at the moment and sitting at home. I'm assuming you've got a few movies, your go-to ones. What's your third go-to movie? Number 3.
I'd have to go Finding Nemo. That's a classic. That's a good one.
Yeah, Finding Nemo. And okay, number 2, your top 3 movies. Number 2 is
Hunger Games. Just all of them.
All of them as a series. Yep. And Keely Ortland's number 1 go-to movie is
The Dark Knight.
Oh, the old Batman. I love that.
Yeah.
Your family. What effect have they had on you? With your netball and in life in general.
Yeah, well, Mum and Dad were always invested into our sport. They've always been really committed to the time that sport did take in our lives. They've always been, a huge, tremendous support.
Yep.
They both were very vocal about the things I needed to improve on and what I could be better at. At times, I'd tell them to bugger off because I didn't want to hear it. But I really do appreciate the support. Both have been really generous in their time and being active in the sporting community. Mum was always involved in being connected with netball. She was a coach, team manager, president of Arrows, and a secretary of SCNA for 5 years. And Dad's had 22 years as a sub-district cricket club president. So, from them, I've definitely picked up many leadership attributes, which have helped shape the person that I am today.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you've, with school and everything, World Challenge, can you explain what World Challenge is and how you fundraise and what's involved in it?
Yeah, so World Challenge is all about sort of building the life skills that young people need to live a life of courage and kindness and adventure. So, as students, we were put in the driver's seat. We got to plan the itinerary, manage the budget, sort of sort transportation, food, accommodation. It was a $7,000 trip each. So, it did take a bit of work to be able to afford it. We ran movie nights, made hampers, had the Bunnings barbecue going, trivia nights. So, also my work money went to pay for the trip. But, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah, can you give us a bit of a snapshot?
Yeah, so late November 2019, before international travel was stopped, I travelled to Vietnam and Cambodia with a school group of around 15, 16 other girls, 2 teachers and a World Challenge leader for 3 weeks. So it's just, we learned a lot about the culture and the history of the 2 countries. Learned a lot of life skills, the importance of organisation and teamwork, mostly.
Yep.
It was hard at times.
Yeah.
We did a community project too in order to help build a house for people that needed it the most. So it was a huge experience.
Yeah, but with World Challenge, it is an eye opener. What was the defining moments on the trip for you?
Yeah, well, 2 definitely come straight to mind. The first one was about the community project. So we went to a small community in Vinh Long, Vietnam. And our project was to help build a house for a family who were considered to be the most deserving in Vinh Long. So to get to this house, it was we had a 30-minute boat ride and then a 10 minutes walk from the dock. But this dock where we got dropped off at, it wasn't a dock. It was just knee-deep grass and dirt. So you could just instantly see the type of sort of community that we were walking in and how poor they were. I think it was just the most daunting walking to the house, and every house that we did pass along the way just looked so extremely poor and in need of renovation. So it was, when we did arrive, their house wasn't even a home. They had no walls, no toilet, no kitchen. It was just insane. Yeah. We were there to do part 1 of the renovation. So this was sort of the foundations of the house. We had to dig trenches, lay bricks, move supplies from the road to the house. We had to make our own concrete. So stuff that's just so normally done and easily done in Australia, we had to get 20 buckets of dirt, a packet of concrete cement, 25 buckets of stones, and then made a well and put 10 buckets of water. So it was just, it took ages. But it was just insane to see the differences between what it's like in Australia in comparison to what it was like in Vinh Long.
Yes.
I think it was just incredible to see how little these people have, yet how grateful they were. And it was overwhelming to see and realise that impact that we did have on those people's lives. And I think it was just, it was beautiful. He kept saying, although we couldn't communicate, he just, kept getting translated to us that we would always be welcome to come visit his home. the second eye-opening experience, which will stay with me for ages, was visiting the killing fields in S21. Out of the 3 weeks, this definitely had to be the most overwhelming and emotional and horrific of days. S21, we had a personal audio tour around the museum, sharing the stories of suffering and death that occurred there. And it was so hard to see each room's different features and then the different handprints. And it was just so confronting. I did come across a small bay with a plaque that said survivor.
Yep.
And so, when I went to leave this small bay, it was about the size of a bathroom. It was so tiny where someone was living. There was an Asian man that was standing behind me, sort of blocking me into the bay, and he pointed into the sign of survivor, and then he pointed to himself.
Oh my God.
He was that survivor. He was one of the 12 people who survived S21. We couldn't communicate. He didn't speak English. But I could just see how grateful and thankful he was that we were there learning about these historic events and what took place, and not forgetting the trauma that did occur there. So, I just remember so clearly just walking out of that building sobbing, and it was just a reminder of how lucky we are to live in such a safe country. And it just made me so appreciative of how lucky we are here in Australia. Yeah,
absolutely, we are. Fantastic country, Vietnam, and if anyone is looking for somewhere to go, that is a like you said, eye opener and realisation of what we actually got at home.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, what is the next step for yourself? Where do you see yourself in the near future?
Yeah, so I'm currently finishing up Year 12 at the moment. My top preference is paramedicine. I don't know, I've just always been so inspired by those frontline workers. So that's definitely something on the cards. I really do want to travel, obviously when we can. Sort of just make the most of the small moments, and of course getting back to playing Revs netball as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Well, we've actually come to the end of the show. I'd like to wish our guest all the best and extend a huge thank you to Club Captain of Revolution Sports Club, 2020 Kilbreda College School Captain, and fantastic all-around human being, Keely Ortland.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you for joining us. This is The Catalyst, and I am Christopher Dent. The Catalyst is a podcast which highlights forward-thinking, community-minded people and organisations. Please like us on Facebook at The Catalyst, or subscribe on YouTube at The Catalyst with Christopher Dent. The Catalyst is produced by CANDO Digital Production House. See you next time.